Hello everyone, today we will discuss how to enter text in any text box using Playwright. So for this, to illustrate this example, I have used this website. This one, Selenium framework. This is a demo site actually. Here there are different text fields present, and you will see how what are the different ways we can enter text into this text box. Okay, so first to read the HTML document, I have to click on the inspect element. So here you can see there are different attributes for this name. So we can use different options to identify this locator. So there are different ways we can identify one locator we can use XPath, or we can use CSS selector, and in Playwright there are two ways by which we can enter a text into a text box. One is using a locator method. So this locator method, this is an method in the page instance. Like if you using this page instance, we are directly going to use this method locator, and it will return us one locator, that is I locator. So in Selenium, this is similar way. Like in Selenium, the return type is web element. There is a find element method. So find element method which returns us web element. Okay, so here this similar way, there is a locator method in the Playwright. We can use that locator method to get a I locator, and using the I locator we can perform different actions on this element. Okay, and another way is without using, if I don't want to use this locator method, there are different ways, like using the page instance. Whatever the actions I need to perform, like suppose I want to enter some text, so there is a method in the fill method. So in the fill method, it will take two arguments. One is the locator. You can directly mention it here, which locator and what is the value you want to enter. So it is the value. Okay, so these are the two methods through which we can enter a text into a text box. So we'll see these two options here. So let's move to our demo website. So here let me first press the CSS as well as the XPath. If I use this name field, here I can use command F. This is the input attribute, input tag basically. So / input, it will give you all the input fields. Then I'll keep another attribute, like I can say like placeholder. I'll use this placeholder. So to this, yeah. So it is identifying one element. I will use this XPath. Okay, let me go to the Visual Studio. So let me, this is one XPath. Then I'll navigate to another field. I'll show you. I can use the CSS selector also. If I go to, actually I'm not using this name attribute for this input name input field, because there is yeah, I can use the name attribute also. Yeah, let me, okay, I have used placeholder there. In the email, I am not using this email name attribute because there is another email. So it will give you two elements for it. So let me navigate to the telephone field. In the telephone field, I can use the name attribute. just for an example. Name, the attribute name, and input attribute is name equal to telephone. Yeah. So if I convert it to CSS selector, I will remove this one. I can direct write input. Okay. Yeah, for CSS selector I can directly use this one. This is the syntax for the CSS selector basically. See. Okay. So this one is for XPath, this one is for CSS selector. Okay. We will use first, let's see, using directly fill method, and then we will see the locator method using the locator method. Okay. So if I'll show you, like with our previous lecture, this is the same solution which I am using. I am just created one demo folder here just to clean up my all the activities in the main class in this program.cs file. Okay, so this doesn't contain anything, so let me minimize it and let's start. Yeah, so first, as discussed already, for the Playwright we have to create one object of the Playwright. Then using that object we will go to which browser we are using, Chromium. Then using the browser we are going to create a page, new page. So using this page, so this page is basically the object on which we are going to perform different actions on the web page. Okay, so I will use this page object, and so let's navigate to our go to async. This is my URL. Okay, it will navigate to this website. Then I am going to enter some text. Page.fill. So to enter a text, the fill async method we are using fill async method. If you will see here, the fill async method, it is taking different arguments in the method. One is the selector in the sense like what is the XPath or CSS selector, it will take it as a string, and what is the value we are entering into that field. Okay, so let me use this method. I will copy this XPath first. See. Dot. Here I am going to enter the value. So let's see, playwright name. Then I will use this is the XPath basically. We are using in the above in this line we are using XPath. In this line I am going to show you using CSS selector. Let me grab my CSS selector from here. Command C. And the value is same. This is the telephone number. I will type like suppose let's see 1 2 3 4. Okay. Yeah. Now let's start. Let's see if it is working or not. Here I will keep my debug point just to see if it is working or not. Yeah, it has opened the browser. Okay, let the page. Going to the left side, and here we'll take it to right side. This I will keep, that should work, but why it's not working? Okay. I'll keep my results to like this. So that it will be clear what we are doing on the page. Yeah. So I'll press this button, step into. It will navigate to this page, web page. Now the yellow icon, this yellowish line indicates that we are currently in this line. Okay. Then we have step up 10. If I'll show here, it should be written Playwright here, Playwright name. Okay. And then I'll press up 10. If I'll go here, it has entered the 1234 telephone number. Okay, so now it's working. Let me close this one. Let me stop the run. Then here we see like how to enter text using directly the page instance. I will comment this line. Now we are going to see how to use the locator method. Await page dot locator. So if you'll see this locator method, it returns an element locator of type iLocator that can be used to perform actions on this page. Okay. So let me use this locator. Here I will use, suppose, the same XPath, whatever I was using earlier. Then fill. The same fill option, the fill sync method I am using, but if you will see here in this method, it is not taking the selector. Like in the previously it was taking two arguments, like three arguments. One is the selector, then the second argument was the value, and the third argument was this class locator fill options. But here the selector is not there, since we are getting the web element using the locator method. Okay, so that's why it's only asking for value and this locator fill options. Okay, so I will enter it the same name, like Playwright name, and let me use CSS, the same CSS selector which we have used previously. Fill. Let's see if it is working or not. I will debug it. Okay, let me press F10. Yeah, the site gets loaded now. Then F10. Yeah, it entered Playwright name. Then F10. Yeah, 1 2 3 4 it entered. it's successfully working now. Let's stop the debug. Now we will see another option here. Basically we are in the locator, we can mention also like which type of selector we are using. Since we are using XPath, I can write here XPath also. Here, since this is a CSS, I can use CSS equal to also. Internally what it does, it will ignore this XPath and it will ignore this CSS equal to option also. Just for our convenience, we can use this also. XPath equal to our XPath value, CSS equal to our CSS value. So let's debug. Okay, F10, step into. So basically, whenever I am clicking on this F10 option, the page here, the page gets loaded, like, but it takes some time to load all the attributes of the DOM. So that's why it takes some time to come from this line 14, line number 14 to line number 19. Okay, so then we will press step into. It's type playwright name, then it's type telephone number as 1234. Okay, so these are the different ways we can identify our web element or iLocator, and also we can enter some text to a text box. Okay, another thing, like suppose I want to enter the text like using the keyboard. Suppose what it does, it just copies and pastes it on the text field, but I want to enter in this way. First I want to enter suppose 1, then 2. Rather pasting this value, I want to click on the keyboard, and one character by one character it will enter. Like when it will whenever it is entering some text in the text box, so it will enter character by character, not as a whole. So if I'll say suppose playwright name value, so first it will enter P, then L, then A, then Y, something like that. It will not directly paste it in the text field. Okay, so in order to do that, let me use a different method for it basically. So I will use type async. Okay, so what this method does, like even for each character in the text. Okay, so let's see if it is doing it or not. And similarly, I will copy it, I will comment it out, and then I will paste it so that it will be more clearer. Basically it will type async. Let's see, let me, our debug point is here only. Let's start it. And this is our browser. I'll step into, it will take some time because internally it waits for till the DOM element gets loaded. And then it comes to line number 22. Here we will enter the name field. Step into, yes. So basically it will type character by character. That's all from this lecture. Thank you.